All right, everybody. Hey, please like and subscribe. I gotta remember to say that in the beginning. If you don't like by the end of the video, um, and you don't want to be subscribed, you can always unlike and unsubscribe. But if you do it now, you won't forget. So thanks a lot, and the channel keeps growing thanks to you all. But let's talk about this league. So full disclosure, this one's gonna be a post league because I was just trying out some new cards, and lo and behold, a trophy came about, and usually I try to at least test the decks a little bit before I just cold record because if it's just not working out, like why waste my energy commenting over something that's not going to be fruitful. But yeah, but here I'm going to try to get some live commentary in. Can't guarantee how much. But I definitely needed some time to be able to experiment without having to worry about the commentary. And thankfully, I think that did bear fruit because I think I'm onto something here. I could be wrong, but hey, I got a trophy and I wanted to share this with all with you. This is so okay, a couple things here. First of all, yes, this is the strip mine package. Field of Ruin, Demolition Field, Cleansing Wildfire. I just think at least I'm trying to maintain both an Obosh and a non-Obosh version. I just think they're close enough that I'm not just like I can't just give up on Obosh. Like if it's just so if it ever becomes like too obvious, so to speak, that yeah, if it ever becomes like too obvious that like Obosh is just not worth it anymore, then sure. But that's just not clear to me. Plus, I feel like Obosh and non-Obosh take me in very different directions of the sideboard. Like I feel like Obosh incentivizes me to play moon effects more, but maybe that's neither here nor there. But in any case, I feel like the non-Obosh version is pulling me very strong in the strip mine effect because Cleansing Wildfire is just such a clean, efficient effect that very quickly helps with depleting their basic lands and can even hit basics. So sometimes we can even keep them off of most, if not all, lands completely. Plus, in matchups where they're particularly susceptible to getting strip mined out of the game, we can even supplement Cleansing Wildfire with Geomancer's Gambit. Whereas like Geomancer's Gambit in the main deck, while I am currently doing that in the Obosh version, it's a lot less appealing. But I mean honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like the strip mine effect in the current metagame is good enough, I think. And actually, somebody recently 5-0'd with a strip mine effect deck. Let me oh yeah, here we go. It's Passel Donnie at Passel Donnie at Twitter. Yep. So yeah, actually, was he playing the strip mine? Yeah, he played the strip mine version. So yep. Yeah. So clearly he was feeling it too. He was also playing a non-Obosh version strip mine package like this. Stone of Erech actually too, which we'll get to that in 1 second. So yeah, I think actually I posted this on Twitter, and I think he might have been inspired and brewed up a similar list, and there you go. I mean, so clearly I think that there is some legs to stand on that. I mean, the other thing too is that like main deck moon effects I think are not as effective in the current environment. I mean, I could be wrong because I mean Electric Bob is still killing it with his playing Blood Moon's main, but I just still run into so much like Rakdos Scam and decks like that don't care too much about Blood Moon. Anyway, look, I've been talking about this long enough. Um, yeah, so let's just talk about one of the main new cards, and low key, this is actually a bigger deal than I think it looks on the surface. Stone of Erech. Okay, full disclosure, I hate to admit it. Please don't hold this against me. Hope I don't like lose all my subscribers, but I didn't finish reading Lord of the Rings. I didn't even finish reading The Fellowship of the Ring. I can't remember how far exactly I got, but I got past where I think Strider first appears. Oh, back when he's called Strider, I can't remember. Anyway, I am not. I am very much a noob in my Lord of the Rings lore knowledge. Um, yeah, I didn't get very far at all, to be honest, in Lord of the Rings. I tried. I did read The Hobbit for what it's worth, and I absolutely adored the 1977 Hobbit movie. And at some point I will have to finish reading Lord of the Rings. There's no way. There's no way I can't not do that. But in any case, like this at the end of there. So please help me know how to pronounce this. Anyway, I'm gonna call it Stone of Erech. Erech. I'm gonna call it Stone of Erech. Until somebody just can't take the cringe anymore and corrects me. But this card, so this card is better than it looks like on the surface. So, I mean, the main thing that's there's two things that are kind of frustrating about this card, which is that it's legendary. I don't know why it has to be legendary. I know once again showing my terrible lack of Lord of the Ring knowledge because it's probably something very special, um, in the story. But yeah, gameplay wise, being legendary makes it a little trickier, because I can't sequence it the same way where I play out multiples and whatever. But it's not as big of a deal as you might think, because you know, I mean, mainly it's because of the static ability. The static ability, especially in a world of scam, is more relevant than you might think. And Yawgmoth, this is not like the card that completely destroys both matchups, like some people might advertise. Honestly, we don't need this to beat scam, in my humble opinion. I haven't needed it before, and I'm not playing this to beat scam. And I think Yawgmoth was always a little bit on the tougher matchup side. I think it's a close matchup, but it's slightly in their favor. And I don't think this card pushes us to favorable territory, or maybe it pushes up to us to like maybe exactly 50-50. I don't know. It's hard to say. Let's just say if whatever percentage points we pick up against Yawgmoth, I don't think it's like that much. Um, but maybe I need more match. I need more games against Yawgmoth to really say for sure. But so look, oh boy, I beat around the bush on that one. But okay, the main number one reason why I'm excited about Stone, because even though it's a legendary, even though you have to pay 2, and those are 2 big dings against it, against Relic of Progenitus, which was our usual go-to. I mean, I played this card for so long. The thought of replacing this seems like absurd, and yet, oh yeah, Relic can also continuously exile cards from the graveyard. So you might be wondering, like, so why on earth are we playing this jank when Relic still seems better? Well, you see, this card doesn't exile our graveyard. And well, in many previous iterations of the deck, that wouldn't be that big of a deal, because honestly, if the only thing I was worried about with the graveyard shenanigans was Seasoned Pyromancer, or and for that matter, Research Desk. Trust me, it's not as big of a deal with Mishra's Research Desk as you might think when it comes to um, trying to play around your own Relic. It's a little more cumbersome to have to worry about playing around your own research desks than the Seasoned Pyromancer effects, mainly because Seasoned Pyromancer effect, this gets played on turn 3. There's a bunch of different reasons, whereas this is played on turn 1. But okay, that's a nice bonus. But look, the main reason is because Unholy Heat. I'll just say it straight up. It's Unholy Heat. Unholy Heat. Really makes us want to have Delirium. Is it always necessary? No. And honestly, the main reason I'm playing Unholy Heat is a lot of times just for the 2 damage. With late game upside, even with a Relic, a lot of times we can play around our own Delirium effect and still get the 6 damage if we really needed to. We just had to be very cognizant, like if we were playing against a deck that we knew they'd have Archon of Cruelty or Primeval Titan or something. We just had to be very, very careful in when we cracked the Relic and making sure we could fill up the graveyard with the appropriate card types. But, we just don't have to worry about any of that when we're playing Stone. So, like, ultimately, this card is just kind of a slightly overcosted sort of a Neil Spellbomb type effect. That we can also crack off of total colorless instead of having to use a colored mana, which actually is also kind of a big deal, I think, especially when I'm playing 12 colorless sources. But anyway, yeah, Stone. Probably the biggest major change, I think, since Lord of the Rings. And yeah, low key, I think this card is actually actually strengthens the deck more than you might think. I can't quantify exactly how much, but I think it's actually kind of a big deal that we have a Relic of Progenitus type effect that can clear their entire graveyard, not just like one card like Soul Guide Lantern, and can draw a card at the same time while clearing their entire graveyard. Because the thing about Soul Guide Lantern is you have to choose between either exiling their entire graveyard or just exiling one and drawing a card. But Stone, you get to do both. Admittedly, for paying an extra mana when you crack it, while you also get to have the static effect of exiling creatures when they die. I wish this card said when a creature would put into graveyard from anywhere, because this card is definitely a lot worse against Living End, but I just don't see Living End that much anymore. That's the one card that makes me kind of doubt this, because having to hold up 2 mana is so much more cumbersome than having to hold up 1 or 0 in the case. Soul Guide Lantern is the best against Living End by far, because you'll have to hold up 0 mana. But Yeah. Anyway, so Stone is definitely the worst of the options, but it's still serviceable. You will still be able to steal some games, I'm sure, against Living End, even with a suboptimal graveyard base card. So I think it's actually kind of huge as long as something like Living End isn't too oppressively prevalent. I suppose Dredge also, like Soul Guard Lantern, will be better. But this is probably about the same against no, Dredge also holding up 1 mana. I just don't see a lot of decks like Dredge or Living End that nowadays in the current meta, but I suppose that could pull me back in the direction of Relic or Soul Guide Lantern. I'm not if I really just felt like I needed more intense graveyard hand. I'm not sure exactly what I'd reach for, Stone or I mean not Stone, Lantern or Relic again, because I do really like not having to worry about removing my own Delirium. It wasn't as a big deal as a lot of people might think. But it's going to be hard for me to go back if that ever comes. But hopefully, graveyard decks just don't become too oppressively good again. But I don't know. At the same time, if I had to choose between a Cascade deck to be dominant, Living End is a lot. We have a lot more counterplay options against Living End than we do against Rhinos, for example. Just Rhinos, we only really have Chalice and I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it even fighting it. They can deal with it. It's just neither here nor there. I'm not mainly here to talk about the Cascade matchups. I'm just here to say that unless graveyard decks become super oppressively prevalent, I think Stone is probably going to be your best option. I think in the regular old matchups where we just want vanilla type graveyard removal, we want to draw a card so it's never dead, and we don't want to mess with our own graveyard in the process. It just does what we need it to do. Period. I think I'll get to the games in a moment. We all know Shatterskull Smashing. That's usually my preferred card over Den of the Bugbear in the companionless version. Just a great pitch with Fury, great pitch with Seasoned Pyromancer. We get a token as opposed to Den if we don't pitch it. I mean, Den is nice, but I don't think it is necessary in companionless versions. And I mean, I think Fable, Seasoned Pyromancer, Fury are probably the holy trinity of this deck that you should be playing if you can afford them. I do have a budget version because I do realize that Fable and Fury are becoming kind of oppressively expensive. Seasoned Pyromancer is, I think, more affordable last time I checked. It's a little pricey, but it's seeing a lot less play. Mainly, I think Bone Masters it was already, I think, seeing less play than Fable and Fury even before Bowmasters was printed. Bowmaster, I think, is making this even less play, so that's good. I think the price is coming down, which just works for me because in our deck, this card is perfect. We have plenty of ways to deal with Bowmaster. We're not, and we don't auto lose to a Bowmaster anyway. I've won through Bowmasters, even sniping down a Seasoned Pyromancer. It's we usually have a good enough matchup against the Bowmaster decks, to put it that way. That we still aren't absolutely in the business for all the body Seasoned Pyromancer spews out. I'm going to actually make a video dedicated to just like how this is really Seasoned Pyromancer deck actually. Like I think this, like if there's one card that I think a banning of this deck will actually significantly weaken and maybe make me even question if I want to play it, it's actually Seasoned Pyromancer. If they ban Fury, I'll just play Flame Slash again, and we'll get to that in a second. But if they ban Fury, I'll probably just replace with Flame Slash. I can live. It's obviously Flame Slash doesn't hit multiple things. It's not a big creature late in the game, but I'll live. Fable, same thing. Fable is a sweet card because it's just if either of these things stick, they accrue so much value. Plus the discard is so nice. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Fable's a sweet card. But as we'll see with the budget version, which spoiler alert, I might have gotten a trophy with that one. But yeah, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, we could live without too, and we'll hopefully demonstrate that in the budget version. But I mean, I've tried cutting Seasoned Pyromancer the budget version. The drop in win rate is just breathtaking. It's the one card that consistently, like I can kind of still get a decent win rate most of the time if I interchange almost every other card in the deck. I've even played versions without Lightning Bolt. No kidding. You can look through my Twitter profile where I'm posting my trophies, and I've trophied I think even more than once with a Lightning Boltless version. Yes, I mean in the era of Unholy Heat, sometimes Murktide is, for example, playing less than 4 Lightning Bolts, so it's not maybe as crazy as it might have sounded like a year or two ago or something to not play Lightning Bolt in a red deck of any type, but heck, even Storm plays it. But that just goes to show you that's like literally the only card consistently that when I cut it, I consistently, the win rate becomes just so breathtakingly, noticeably worse is maybe breathtaking is the right word, just very astonishingly worse is Seasoned Pyromancer. So I'm gonna say that even in the budget version, it's probably one of the only sort of a little bit pricey cards that you probably have to spring for. If anybody knows of any card that's even remotely, I mean, ironically, I remember when Fable was being undervalued. Some people were saying, is Fable a budget replacement? Even then, actually, Fable was not actually a budget replacement for Seasoned Pyromancer, if I'm going to be honest. But that just tells you something when literally the only card I can think of that isn't even remotely close to doing what we need for this deck is Fable. So I guess it turned a little bit into a rant about Seasoned Pyromancer, but one of the understated things I'll just say real quick before I leave about Seasoned Pyromancer and why it's so critical a deck is actually that it's an entire threat package in a can. Like, think about it. Without Seasoned Pyromancer, if an opponent were to extirpate or something like use one of those effects that exiles all the cards, if they exile Fury and Fable, we kind of can't win, like if you think about it. I mean, obviously, if they do that to two Seasoned Pyromancers, but with Seasoned Pyromancer, even if they discard this, we might have the chance to, maybe extirpate isn't the right example. But let's just say if in a deck with enough removal spells, if they play enough removal spells, they can easily, like Lightning Bolt or whatever Fury, they can easily, I mean, they have to spend 2 of them, but spending only 2 removal spells on the Reflection, one of which can be killed by Balance, like Teferi or something. I'm thinking of like one in 4-color Omnath, for example, and Reflection, which can also be killed by Enchantment Hate for what it's worth. Yeah, it's just not necessarily reliable. Like if these are our win cons, Fable and Fury, they're kind of not reliable because these can, in very attrition-based matchups, like all of our threats could end up getting killed, and then we just don't actually have a win con that can stick and win the game. But Seasoned Pyromancer, man, what this card does is this is a win con in a can, while also just being I mean, honestly, I never even really, the fact that I didn't even necessarily think about this for a while, that is just such a good win con, period. Like, you could even just cut, like, I think actually you can, and I think I have on some occasions, like, actually cut, like, literally every creature in the deck. Like, literally, this can be your only creature, because this spews out 3 bodies, potentially, when you play it, assuming you have 2 good non-land pitches. Bam, that's 3 bodies, 1 Seasoned Pyromancer, 2 tokens right there, up front. But then if this card hits the graveyard for whatever reason, which a lot of times it will, boom, that's 2 more you can just get out of your graveyard. That is 5 creatures in 1 card. That means with 4 copies in your deck, you play 20. Yeah, I'm doing the max correct. Yeah, you have 20, potentially 20 threats in these 4 cards. Now I'm telling you right now, it's a lot harder for decks to run you out of threats when you have 20 of them than when you have to be fair 12. 4 Furies, and these kind of count as 2 threats. So, but again, these are 2 particularly vulnerable threats. The tokens don't necessarily count the same robustness as like an actual creature. So I guess Fable, we're still going to count it as 2 threats. So anyway, boy, this rant took a little longer than I thought. But at this point, I think me ranting a little bit has got to be one of my charms probably on this channel. In any case, I'm going to hit Obliterating Bolt, and then I'll discuss the sideboard a little bit, and then I think we'll get to the game. So Obliterating Bolt, this is another little change that I've been going in. I think we may have crossed the Rubicon, so to speak, where being able to deal with Planeswalkers is important enough that maybe we want to be main decking Obliterating Bolt instead of Flame Slash. I just think, and here's the thing, I never really would have considered doing like Thunderous Wraith, which this card is which Obliterating Bolt is a strict upgrade for. The same exact thing, except this card also exiles if it damages. Yeah, Thundering Rebuke over like Flame Slash, which is just 1 damage, 4 damage, 1 mana, 4 damage to creature, as opposed to 2 mana, 4 damage to creature or Planeswalker, but also you exile. And that's for me the thing. The exile effect, the fact that this gives you the option to both hit Planeswalkers and lets you exile whatever you're targeting, I just think that probably pushes it over just enough that this might actually just be better than Flame Slash. For example, if we don't have a stone, they can't use an Undying or a Not Dead After All effect in Scam to save a creature. It has come up. I wouldn't say I'd play it only for that reason, but the exile effect is far from frivolous. Also, if your opponent is playing an opposing Seasoned Pyromancer, not super common, just being able to take the token option right off the table, not frivolous at all. But one of the main things is just Ren and 6. It's just when I think of one of the main reasons that I take L's against yeah, Omnath or I mean any deck that plays Ren and 6. Like sure, I could take an L without Ren and 6, and it does happen. But every game that Ren and 6 just keeps going nuts multiple turns in a row, and I can't just deal with it on the spot. Um, I mean, that while there's multiple causes usually, I have to almost always peg that as one of the major reasons why I had to take that L. And Obliterating Bolt just gives me both Obliterating Bolt and Fury as an ability to, it gives me both of these to basically potentially just smite a Ren and 6 just right away before it really gets going, and that's kind of huge, I think. Maybe if Ren and 6 is banned, I gotta be honest, like if Ren and 6 gets banned, probably going back to Flame Slash, because like Liliana, the OG Planeswalker. Oh my God, I feel so bad that I actually spent like $100 on those freaking Lilianas right when they totally went to garbage. Because what was it, Bowmaster? Bowmaster. I'm not gonna get into that, but like, oh, I even bought them in paper too because it's such a classic, iconic card. I totally understand why people are quitting Magic. It's kind of ridiculous, man. Like Liliana became unplayable just overnight. That's insane. I hate that. But whatever. I mean, to be fair, it when what's it called? When Lingering Souls was at its apex of popularity, Liliana was also kind of unplayable. So she could make her comeback. I kind of doubt it. I don't think Orchestral Masters is gonna stop seeing play anytime soon. Like Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls was always like a kind of metagame player. In case anybody's wondering, it's a three. This card would never see play today, but it's 3 white sorcery. Put 2 like white. I can't remember if they're white or black or both, but 2 white like spirit creature tokens with flying into play, and you can just flashback 1 black, 1 colorless. So basically 3 make 2 flying tokens, pay 2, flash it back, make another 2 tokens. I know it doesn't sound so special, but that used to see a lot of play in some decks back in the day. I think particularly Abzan, but whatever. Um, yeah, it's probably Ren. At the moment, Ren 6 is the only Planeswalker that I think kind of really demands an effect like this. The others, I think, were a little more manageable, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, there's possibility this could go back to Flame Slash even with Ren and 6 in the format, but that is one of the main reasons why I've been liking this. Just I like that little extra insurance, especially since this frees up sideboard space. Because see, what I really been liking Flame Blitz, but as kind of a sideboard card. This card has been very nice for me as a sideboard card, but I just felt like playing more burn spells that can hit planeswalkers, which Unholy Heat can too. This just doesn't. Even though like Stone has less of a dyssynergy, I still just don't hit Delirium. Very very early, like some decks like Murktide. I don't tear through my deck as quick as them. So anyway, look. So sideboard quick. I know we gotta get to the games. It's been a long deck check. I actually think with the way the meta is, oh yeah, actually no Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, that's sad actually. I don't think any of my current decks have Bone Crusher Giant at the moment. I know it's weird because you'd think it'd be so good with the One Ring, but it's just I just think these other cards just play more important roles at the moment. In any case, the deck can be a little soft to the One Ring in Game 1. It can be. I say can be because somehow I have not necessarily been dropping every single game 1 against the ring decks like you might think, but there could be some luck for sure. Being able to snipe them with a few lightning bolts and having a lot of an unusual amount of card draw to be able to see more of it to get to them does actually seem to make a big difference. Plus against like the Omnath decks, I can kill Omnath, but whatever. In any case, since it just rubs me the wrong way that I don't have any ring hate. I mean, I can't deal with the ring in the main deck, but I just don't think we're at the point where I want to play Cast into Fire in the main deck. But it is worth noting that this card is very solid against both Bowmasters and the One Ring. So it is possible one day I just play this in the main. But I mean, against like 4-color Omnath, for example, it literally only hits the ring. It does count for a lot though that it does hit the ring. But against like what else? I don't know. There's a lot of decks that basically if they don't play the ring and they don't play Bowmasters, it's this card kind of doesn't hit anything. But man, if only it said like divide 2 damage as you choose, that would dramatically expand the range of you know, decks where this always has good targets. But anyway, it's nothing there. In any case, I think you definitely have to play this either in the side or the main. Definitely, I want access to this, but I also like Haywire Mite. I just do. It's I mean, what can I say? Like these, I think, are the best ring hate options that we have in mono red. I know we have gotta go splashing for green, but it's so easy with 8 field effects. We just can grab our forest with the fields. It's one thing I really like about the 8 field package that I didn't realize until at some point. Like it's surprisingly easy to just have a light sideboard splash because of them, because they kind of act as fetches of sorts. But anyway, um, a 2 life is far from frivolous against like burn and stuff too. It's yeah, it hits Urza Saga. Also, this allows us to hit enchantments, which is kind of huge. Of this light green splash. Not only does this deal with the ring, but suddenly we don't almost auto scoop to like Enchantress anymore. I mean, you know. And then Geomancer, like I said, for decks that are particularly susceptible to the strip mine effects. But all right, I think with that, I can finally get to the games, and I can go over yeah how this went. And yeah, thanks to everybody. Yeah, let's. Okay, well, good thing I recorded the deck tech earlier. I gotta get this out. So I'm going to be recording this, even though I unfortunately have a little bit of a headache. But you know, thinking this through, analyzing the games, this will hopefully help me feel better. All right. I think this one is a keep, obviously. Since we don't have to worry about dashing or everything out on turn 1, might as well lead on stone. If they were scam, this would set that off. They are not scam, but we can cycle this at the end of their turn. Even though stone is a little more mana intensive, it's still manageable to cycle. So the question is, do we want to cycle, or do we want to... I think I'm actually going to cycle just to better use my mana. Okay, never mind. I thought I was going to. So we're actually going to Cleansing Wildfire here, I think. Yeah. The reason being is that we want to save the Demolition Field for another... Yeah. Another Urza Saga. And there we go. Okay, I get a Colossus Hammer. And I'm surprised they just go for it, but yeah, so it goes. So 1 Colossus Hammer down. Okay. I think I have to take care of the Urza Saga, obviously. This is where I kind of wish I had cycled earlier, because I can't play the other stone until this one. Wow, triple Urza Saga. So that's this could end up being a problem. They I think this was a little. But then they can just go grab a Shadow Spear. Oh, there's a Saga, so we got to find a. I did this just in case they had Shadow Spear, but in reality, like I don't know what I'm even going. I guess I'm going for Blast Zone. Yeah, but the problem is they're gonna get Shadow Spear, so it's too late. I had to draw a Blast Zone right there, man. All right, game 2. So for sideboarding, we actually took out 2 Cleansing Wildfires, and we brought in all 4 stones to bring in 2 forests and 4 Haywire Mites. And we also took out the research desks for cast into the fire, because having a lot of artifact hate helps break up the combo. You know, in retrospect, maybe yeah, this makes sense. The thing is, Seasoned Pyromancer, believe it or not, is another card that we can cut. Maybe we can cut it to a two of. Because hear me out, Seasoned Pyromancer is great for producing chump blockers like last game. Although, oftentimes that's not a position we want to be in anyway. But the main problem with Seasoned Pyromancer is that, unlike Fable, we have to discard. And a lot of times we don't want to discard removal that's in our hand, which we're going to be forced to hold because of the nature of the game anyway. Okay. I mean, reluctantly, it's a cave. Land. Spells. Interaction. Yeah. Well, that means, yeah, we might want to wait for them to start gathering up creatures so that we can unload a Fury. Okay, that's, well, we can unload a Blast Zone if we draw one. This is why Blast Zone is so good. This matchup. Ooh, okay. Excuse me again, I got a headache. Okay, I've already got the Force Enhancement. Get that one. And man, again with the, what's up with this player and always having 1 bajillion Urza Sagas. So we can kablam. So we can feel to ruin this. Yep. Okay, another one of these. Fortunately, this time I can't. Might as well do that, I guess. Prevent free equips. Oh, and then get another one. I think we rip a Blast Zone here. Or that works too. Because, yeah. Yeah, let's get rid of this now. I feel like their rips have been insanely lucky, but that's why we overboard. We got so many sideboard cards. They might think, you know, why do I need so many sideboard cards for the hammer matchup? Well, it's because lucky draws like this. That's why. All right. See, this is the awkwardness of Seasoned Pyromancer. I can't cast it. I'm not pitching this stuff. No way, no way, Jose. For Janu. Well, good thing we can cast into fire that. I don't know why we didn't do that another turn. Oh, I know why, because we can erase it. Interesting, we shocked that in. I guess we're gonna cast into fire. Huh, they named engineer explosives. Interesting. I mean, I guess you see multiple colors. It makes sense, but didn't they? Oh yeah, we didn't play Blast Zone last game. See, this is the advantage of not playing your cards. They didn't see Blast Zone last game. Engineer explosives is a reasonable name. I do play that sometimes. Not this time though, but I do play that sometimes. So it's not completely unreasonable, but yeah, Ginger Broody at 2 Brutus. True Ginger Broody. Okay. So interesting. I would have thought I'd Furied the Ginger Brood, but I guess we want to hold up just in case. Okay. Okay. If I would have played the Fury, I could have had better attacks. I would have felt forced to either chump block the Fury or take 6 damage every turn. I mean, not chump block, but yeah, so in retrospect, I misplay by not playing the Fury, but I still think we're going to be okay. Yeah, let's kill both those Espel Sentinels. Huh. Oh, yeah. Interesting that I went after Ginger Brood. I wonder why. Caldra. Oh, MRS call. Something in the world. Yeah, I mean, it's indestructible. I can still lock it and then see what is that. Okay, bam. Bam. Yeah, so this is going to be toast here. I'm racing this pretty hard with the Angels. Get rid of that when we can. Yeah, get some Fable action out here. We gotta push some damage, or we're just not going to be able to win, but we can bring on 8 here. So I'm not sure if they're aware of this, but we can actually block the Sanctifier, and we can gain 2 life, putting us exactly at 1. And I guess we'll hit the Forge Anew, yeah. And I think we got lethal on the swing back. Fable. We'll clear this out of the way. Yeah. Wow, this was a pretty tight game, but we erased the Angels. Okay. All right. Okay, so to wrap up the Urza Saga, the Hammer Time match, and hopefully my headache will be better for the rest of the games here. Same sideboard as before, so I'll right back. Okay. I mean, it's got Burn and it's got Artifact Heat. They could fire off a Saga before we can blow it up, but them's the breaks. You know? Okay. Thankfully, we're spared that fate for now. Oh, I need a Sorcerer Speed removal while I can. This does open me up to a possible hammer equip. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Not today. Okay. Well, that could have been an argument to not doing that, but I think we're going to continue our trend of using Sorcery Speed while we can. We're lucky. That could have been very bad. So we're definitely going to hit that thing. And I guess we'd start trying to kill this thing, right? I mean, not yet. And I guess we're going to continue the trend of Sorcery Speed. Trying to do stuff. I don't like this. I mean, definitely this could have gone very sideways. I was not as confident we were going to win this match as I was the last one, but thankfully it's not their time. So we'll discard I think a Casinifier and a Cleansing Wildfire. We got plenty of field effects. I don't think we're going to get juked by Saga today. Okay, they done equip, but this is where the chump blockers for Zoom Partner do actually come in handy. Plus, I got the Casinifier, which is always nice. I think the plan is just to get rid of the Colossus Hammer and chump block the Sentinel. We'll do this now so they can't. Yeah, we'll get a Forest. Okay, we're gonna try to go for it. This could backfire, but I kind of like. What is this here? Solitude. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I still think it would have been better for them to hit my Seasoned Pyromancer, but that's just me. Okay, hit that. There's a Saga. The thing I like about having the 8 fields, I think Saga is much more effective on their side usually, and we could have it under control pretty easily. Oh, that's why they didn't target my. Still, I'll see your Solitude, and I'll match you with a Fury. I'm going to save the Cleansing Wildfire. They've got plenty of good lands to hit. Colossi Hammer. Yep, I'm just going to hit this in response. And they had the Surge, but thankfully we have, yeah. Amaria's Call, okay, cool. So, we're actually going to attack. And we actually get Casinifier. So actually, if they block with 1, then that's fine. We can just deal with 1. But it looks like they actually block with 2, which is actually kind of. We'll take it. It does mean our Fury dies, but I will gladly trade the Fury to take care of both of those. Okay, that Blast Zone, we've been waiting for that all match. Okay. Let's deal with all of that. Draw some cards, why not? We'll save the mountain for if we draw Fable. Okay, what are we building? So we draw sorcery, we did. Don't mind if I do. And I think this one, they could have capitalized early on, but thankfully, I think we're going to pull this one off. Okay. Ooh. Nice. Alright, match 2. And thankfully the headache is getting better. You know, I think I'm going to actually keep this if I remember correctly. This is one of the draws of Mishra's research desk, because I'm fairly confident. And I'm guessing this is Amulet Titan, because they're one of the only decks that play us out as a Saga on turn 1, and sure enough, we found our red source. And I might as well play this. Okay, Grazer. Turn Macrosynth. So we got some choices here. I think I might actually hit the Garrison. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to hit the Garrison. Yeah. And my reasoning is, you know, in retrospect, though, I probably should have waited for them to fetch the Amulet and then hit whatever bounce land before it untapped, now that I think about it. But the logic is we can hit the Amulet next turn with Blast Zone. But yeah. Ooh, this is going to be very juicy. Maybe it actually turned out for the better that we didn't make the optimal play of holding up the land to zap before it untapped. But I should not have cracked that. That was the mistake here. Instead, we're just going to get the Field of Ruin, and we're gonna try to make that optimal play, or not, or just double bolt that, I guess. I'm playing a little funky. I kind of feel like I should have held up. But actually double land drop is a little concerning. One ring. Alrighty, I'm gonna hold up the field. We're gonna zap it. If we're trying to land. Grazer. Okay, 5, but that's not enough to make a Titan yet. Okay, Zusa. We might be able to make a Titan, but we can Unholy Heat it at least. Actually, okay. Actually, we couldn't have Unholy Heated it. Instant land artifact. Yeah, we couldn't have Unholy Heated it. But we can hit that. And then we can zap Zusa. And then we can Unholy Heat the Titan. I think our luck is probably running out. Especially if they have so many cards. Yeah, I think they're going off. There's kind of too many cards here. And the One Ring is just kind of nasty. Alrighty, alright. Alright. Game 2 for the Titan, and I don't think we need Lightning Bolt. And Seasoned Pyromancer. Seasoned Pyromancer is not bad, it just doesn't dig as well as the research desk. It is a nice copy for Fable, but I think at the end of the day, what we want more, we need to take out 2 Shatters for 2 Forests. And we definitely need the Cast Fire, and we need the Haywire Mite. And I think we need the Geomancer too, because we're really going to try to Geomancer him out of the game. And in that regard, we took out Stone of Erech, and there we go. Alright, well, this has got a little sampling of stuff we need. Unfortunately, no red mana, but eventually the Field of Ruin will convert into a red mana. And of course, Mishra's research desk to the rescue again. Always nice. Yeah. We'll do this. I just kind of like thinning my deck before going nuts drawing, but, you know, who am I to judge? That. Yeah, so I think we Cleansing Wildfire and we hit that, but thankfully we've got the cast into the fire. And we need to play the Fable now. It's unlikely they can make it Titan this turn. Of course they hit the Fable, but that's fine. The Growth Chamber, get a treasure token, and we're gonna try to produce another Fable here. Okay, they get another Beseiju. Okay, a Tear Asunder, that's fine. We have more research desks where that came from. Interesting that they're playing so controlling here. Yeah, we'll Geomance that. They're out of basics. Okay, that's fine. They've got like unlimited artifact and enchantment removal. So we got Titan, but we can Unholy Heat that, which we will. Alright. Hit that, hit this, do this. I probably want to hit the angular figure. Maybe not yet, it's not necessary to hit it yet. Yeah, Shattering Spree can actually deal 12 damage even to a Cultivator Colossus. I mean, that's fine. But I think we got lethal. We'll hit that for 4, and this is actually lethal, nice. Alright, game 3 for all the marbles. Same sideboarding. Yeah, and one thing actually that I don't think that I think I may have started to realize even more after this game, is just how important it oftentimes is to hold up a Field of Ruin and to tag a Karoo land when it comes down in response to the Amulet trigger, because then you kill it, it doesn't untap. They get an untapped forest, but if they have multiple amulets, they only get 1 activation because it doesn't come into play tapped. Ironically, it's better to come into play tapped when they have multiple amulets, and they still have to return a land to their hand, so it can be pretty backbreaking to time your fields correctly. So we're gonna zap the Saga. It also puts them further behind for being on track to get the ring. Oh, and this is just so beautiful because now we can field this, put them even further behind. Haywire Mite definitely seems like a plan. We want Fable, we want Haywire Mite. Let's see what they get. Azusa. Well, they're kind of mana screwed. So discarding Mishra is pretty free. All we do is we cut 1 extra look, but we save having to spend 2 mana to play and activate, so it's almost always correct. I don't think we need more than 1 Blast Zone too, so that's an easy pitch. Yeah, another Fable seems like a good move. We definitely got to get rid of that Azusa. That can just explode too much. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they're mana ramping us. Okay. I don't want to discard anything. It's all pretty good. And now with Recurring Furies, I think we're in pretty good shape. We're going to respond to their activation with. They won't actually draw a card because they never put a burden counter on it. So, alright, Fury, Shaman, and we're going to try to copy Fury at end of turn. Play another Haywire. Zap that with the Fury. And I think we just straight have lethal. Yeah. Alright, and we actually take it down against Amulet. The strip mine plan can work, but you have to be very. It's not like just slam Mages to the Moon and call it a day. You actually have to. There's a lot more thought that has to go into it. But as you can see, this can be done. All right, match 3, and we're up against Ruben's Master. Man, I could go for a Reuben sandwich right now. I tell you that much. I hate names like this that get me hungry. Okay, let's keep going. I got a feeling this is burn. Oh, it's burn. Is this where the run comes to an end? Not if I have something to say for it. So actually, we are gonna Fury this, and while this might seem like reckless, they usually don't play Eidolon anymore, and that's the main reason to save Fury. And I'm a little worried about I'm a little worried that they have another follow-up creature. And I just thought I could score some equity points by, you know, holding up like that. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but we need to put our clock on. We can start working on keeping them off of white after this. Yeah. We might actually race them. And we're actually strip mining them too. Vortex, I think we got them. Yeah. Whew, we actually raced burn. A big part of that is the A mulligan. B, we took only one. We only took 2 damage off of their creature's total because we Furied and we held up the spell for the next creature. We were a little lucky to have the hand we did and for them to have to mulligan. But I think we still could have lost this if we didn't play the way we did. As you can see, when you're in a matchup like Burn, where you just don't have control over a lot of the variables, it's very important that you absolutely try to maximize saving life every way you can in the few ways you can. And one of the ways you can is trying to make sure none of the creatures will ever tag you for any damage as much as possible. Obviously, the Goblin Guide on turn 1, nothing you can do about that. We don't have. If we could Flash Fury, then we could prevent even that. But since we can't, yeah, you get the idea. So yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, let's see how we sideboarded too. View sideboard, please. Okay. So we took out Obliterating Bolt for Haywire Mite. We're gonna need those Haywire Mites both for life gain and to deal with the Roiling Vortex. And I think we took out the stone for Geomancer because actually strip mining is. They only play like about 3 basic mountains, so believe it or not, even against a deck that is often erroneously called mono-red, we can actually strip mine them out sometimes. And they only have Lava Spike and Lightning Bolt that are true direct burn spells for 1 mana, so sometimes if you keep them on 1 mana, they actually die with a bunch of 2 or more costed burn spells in their hand. It actually does happen. And we took out 2 Blast Zones for 2 basic forests to enable the Haywire ability, and there we go. This one is I'm a little surprised I kept because this is probably a mistake actually, but they don't have a creature. But I'm not a big fan of this keep because we have to bolt ourselves to deal with a turn 1 Goblin Guide, but we're really lucky they didn't have that. But that also means that their hand is pure burn, and we can do a lot less about this, but their hand also happens to have 2 of their 3 basic mountains. So we're actually going to be on the trying to strip mine them out. So what I want to do is I want to tag the Fiery Islet while I can. That's what I want to do. Well, they actually have 4, so that's bad news for us. I usually want to play 3. But we might still be able to strip mine them out. Let's see. Please draw another Cleansing Wildfire. Discard 2 Unholy Heats because we don't. Well, they didn't play anything, so they have a bunch of 3 mana burn spells. Like a bunch of Skewer the Critic. Okay. Partially could explain it. Play this other one. Bam, bam. 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 If I went Geomancer, I think we just have lethal next turn? Not quite. Okay, well, at least we're depriving them of full value of the Searing Blazes. Now they're on 1 land, now they're on 0 lands. So actually, I think Operation Strip Mine actually worked. Like I was saying in the sideboard tech, sometimes Operation Strip Mine actually works on burn. This, folks, is one of the reasons why I'm really starting to, like, I know it feels like I go back and forth, Saga, Blood Moon, I don't know, just like red good stuff, and then strip mines and stuff, but like I'm really starting to think that it's not perfect, but the strip mine strategy might actually really be the way to go, because I feel like you can juke wins. Like, the thing I like about the strip mines is like, sure, it won't be relevant in all matchups, but the thing is, we're also just a really solid, really good mid-range deck. Like, for example, against Rakdos Scam, strip mining is something that can come up actually, because especially if they don't play a basic mountain. Even if they do, we do have the Cleansing Wildfires possibly anyway. But like most of the games we win against Rakdos mid-range have nothing to do with the strip mine strategy. We just sort of like out-muscle them in the mid-range department. And that's the thing. Like, we're ultimately just a very solid, very good at grinding mid-range deck. But I feel like in Modern, a lot of times you really want to have some kind of gimmick on top of being like a solid, mid-range aggro control whatever deck. I know it sucks because I kind of hate gimmicks, but the thing is, you got to watch out for free gimmicks. Gimmicks that are pretty free. You like, I would never reach for a gimmick that kind of hurts the deck, if that makes sense. Like where you have to actually like tear into the mid-range strategies, overall game plan too much to go for the gimmick. But I'm a big fan, if you want to increase your win percentage, of going for gimmicks that don't actually affect your overall strategy that much. In other words, they're pretty free, and I think we found it here in mono red mid range when it comes to the strip mine effects, because since we're mono red, sometimes the brown mana is an issue, but a very, very good chunk of the time, the brown mana is just not that big of an issue, and it's just pretty free to include these, and then it just unlocks this potential to cheese wins in ways that just couldn't otherwise. So this is just kind of our gimmick, I think, and what can I say? There's no way we would have won this, I think, unless we would have been able to cheese them with the strip mines. So I think that explains a good part of what I want to explain just in this way this match went. All right. Okie dokie. Match 4, let's see. Well, I know I said in the last one that the brown mana usually is an issue, but we're going to brave the elements. Oh, and this is another thing I forgot to explain. One reason why brown mana is not as much of an issue is because of Fury. Now, this is really gutsy here, but I feel like as long as they don't cheese me, I think I can win, but unfortunately they did cheese me. It's exactly this that I was trying to prevent, and there's nothing I can do. I don't want to show them my blast zone, but I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't even do it. Yeah, all right. All right, well, that sucked. That even though we tried to avoid getting cheese game one, we just couldn't do it. Okay, so this is actually me implementing, I think, a little more what I was talking about in the first game. Something I came to a realization after that last game, which is I don't want to cut Seasoned Pyromancer entirely. They can be very useful, as we even saw in the first match, but I think we can do better. I actually think we want this as a 2-of in this matchup. And in that regard, we cut 2 of these for the 2 forests. Stone of Erech for Haywire Mite. You guys are just going to have to get used to how this card gets pronounced differently each game. Somebody's not going to be able to stay on the cringe. They're going to put in the comments somebody who's more familiar with Lord of the Rings than I am, and I'm going to stop mispronouncing it at some point. But until then, we're all on the same boat together here. I don't like it any more than you guys do, but anyway. And then to go Geomancers for Geomancer singular, excuse me, for well, I guess Geomancer's Gambit. That's whatever it is out here there for casting a fire. And this time I actually did take out Obliterating Bolt. What did I bring in again? Oh, actually I didn't. Okay, so actually I didn't bring in Geomancer. Instead yeah, because you know what I came to the realization? I do want Cleansing Wildfire. That's what I came into the realization. Yeah, Obliterating Bolt is good, but it's sorcery speed. So I think we can live without it, and I think, yeah, Obliterating Bolt and Stone for those 2 effects, and we still have access to 2 Seasoned Pyromancers. All right, I like it. Even though some of the games in the past, it looks like I got rewarded for sideboarding the way I did, conceptually speaking, I'm still not convinced that those results are representative, so to speak. So I know this exposes us to something, but okay, that's fine. See, I was actually waiting for an Urza Saga, and I'm fine, because now I can Field of Ruin, or better yet, Cleansing Wildfire. And okay, so they could juke us with a hammer. That would suck, but this time I'm on track for turn 4 Blast Zone, which I'll just do right now because I don't want to lose to a Surge of Salvation. Yeah, and I died on another hammer hit anyway. well, hammer hit plus the creature attached to it. Definitely gonna Fable it up. I definitely should have played the Mountain first though, because I totally forgot sometimes they play Mana Tithe, so good thing we didn't get punished for that. Alright, well, it's a good thing Caldera can get hit by Casting the Fire, because unfortunately we have to discard a Cleansing Wildfire and a Mountain, I think. Alright, it is what it is. Just gonna Fury, hard cast a Fury, I think. They can obviously. There was no way around this because if I can't use Fury as an instant. I could crack the Blast Zone as an instant, but that doesn't help because I need to kill its Storage Mystic as an instant, not give her runes. Okay. All right, well that's fine. We might actually just be able to straight up race. Yeah, we'll just kill that. Yeah, and they can't race us, so that's yeah. We can also copy the Furies. Sometimes you actually just have to race the Caldera, and it actually worked there. Nice. Okie dokie. Same sideboard, I think. It's even more important to have all 4 Cleansing Wildfires on the play, in my humble opinion. So I'm glad we're on that. Of course, we have none of them, but so it goes. We'll play this. Ooh, that's a spicy meatball. So we might have to angle for a Blast Zone in 2. Well, they're definitely incentivizing that with, but I think I got a Unholy Heat in a turn. Okay, this Haywire Mite could help. I cracked this and then I got that one. Okay, this is a little scary. I gotta hold the line. Got it. We can't panic. Alrighty. Alright, well we can at least hit the Saga. Unfortunately, we can't Unholy Heat, but maybe we should pitch Fury. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. No, maybe we don't. Alright. I'll take it. It's a little odd that I did that, but I think I want to race with the Fury actually. Oh no, we used a. So yeah, we just killed the token while it was tapped out. I guess if they would have animated that, we could have Unholy Heated. So I know we're gonna have to put Bless in too. Yeah. Okay, well, this is a good one. Hit there as a Saga. Alrighty. Yeah, we crack the Blast Zone. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna hit the play button because I think I'm skipping through too quickly by accident. But yeah, we do want to hit the Ink Moth. It's pretty obvious, I think. All right, hold up. Unholy Heat. Let's get some Haywire Mite going. Okay. Play this. Alrighty, let's crack it. Yeah. Force is better than Shatterskull here. Don't have anything to play Shatterskull on. Discard Shatterskull and the Seasoned Pyromancer. That's fine. I think we can pretty much win with Blast Zone, 2 Field of Runes, 2 artifact removal spells. Yeah, we can hit the Caldera, which actually they did reveal. We do know what's in their hand. Exile that. Some very nice side effect of casting the fires. We can actually just exile Caldera. Very sweet. Or we search desking. Now we just actually go for the win. Okay. Yep, flashback. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, they have the Church of Salvation. This is fine. We'll just cast into fire the Colossus Hammer. Okay, that's fine. Cast into. Oh, better yet, we'll crack a blast down. Yep. I think they saw that coming. Oh, shit. Stone Force, Colossus Hammer. Surprised they're not playing they're not playing that cranial plating. That's also a living weapon card. I forget what it's called. So they mana tithe me. Yep, I was telling you all, mana tithe is a thing. Mana tithe is a thing. Well, yeah, that's that. They didn't draw. They could equip the hammer, but that's we have blockers, thankfully. Okay, match 5, and let's buckle up, folks, because I got a feeling that even though, yeah, I think this is. Oh no, what is this deck? Based on the result entry here, this is a little. Oh, okay, this is spirits, right? So this is weird, and this is a competitive league. I have tried friendly leagues a few times, and in full disclosure, possibly some of the leagues, both this and another 5-0 I got actually though, were competitive leagues. So far, all my 5-0s are competitive leagues, but I have dabbled in friendly leagues a little bit, but this is not actually a friendly league. I'm a little surprised to see spirits in the competitive league, but to be honest, I have not actually seen any appreciable difference between the friendly leagues and the competitive leagues. I see decks like spirits some occasionally in the competitive leagues, and I would say it's just about as rare that I see them in the friendly leagues, but just letting you guys know. So as long as we're not playing against a spirit master, I think we're extremely favored against spirits. Spirits, because a lot of them have flash though, do actually lend themselves to possibly being not as good of a matchup, depending on the player. I really like it when the matchup kind of depends on the player, because I really want. I mean, I've spent like. I think I've spent like over 20 years at this point playing some amount of Magic in my life. I feel like I have to leverage. Like, I feel like it'd be too big of a waste of time spent in my life in a way not to try to play a deck that leverages a little bit of hopefully stuff I learned over that period of time. That's probably flawed thinking at the end of the day. Winning is winning, right? Who cares how you win? But I don't know. You can call it sunk cost fallacy if you want. And thankfully we can kill that in response. I can play this. And I think I'm pretty much just cruising to victory here. And I think, and basically, I think we got this in the bag. Now this actually was a mistake because I think they F6'd, but but in retrospect, I think right after I did it, I'm like, oh no, they've got Coco. But I think they do actually have Coco, and I think we see that next turn. But they F6, so they couldn't capitalize by using the extra mana from the field around to Coco. And I think they just concede here. I think they died with Coco in their hand, so I guess we never saw it. How much you want to bet though that last card's a Coco? Part of this could be a shame scoop because of the F6 where they could have but in reality that was kind of just as much of a misplay as it was for them. Oh, never mind. So it's just a long pause. I thought that was a concession from that. There's a concession. Okay, I knew they conceded about here, but yeah, they didn't have a creature to block. But yeah, like I think this. I don't think this is a shame scoop so much. I don't think they probably have a creature to block, but you know, I think they ended up conceding. So rather than going to games 2 and 3, which I think is unwarranted, I think Spirits can actually pull the upset. It has done that to me in the past, particularly I forget who it was, but the former trophy leader. I think one season I was the trophy leader, and then the next one there was this guy with Spirits who was the trophy leader like right after that, and we were both neck and neck. I remember like way many seasons ago. I remember like sort of like the immediate like the Luris / immediate post Luris ban era. Um, so that was like I think the immediate post Luris ban sort of era, or at least not ban but Luris nerf, I guess. Actually, I remember I think Obosh was actually at its height when Luris was nerfed but not banned, because let me tell you, even though Luris was kind of a stupid busted card even when it was nerfed, I Mono Red Obosh just happened to kind of eat for breakfast almost all those Luris decks. I sincerely believe that people did not have a good reason to not play Obosh Red. I meant this might sound a little arrogant, but like I was chewing like this is just the truth, man. Like, how do you think I was the trophy leader around that time? Like, I forget exactly when I was the trophy leader, but when I was the trophy leader, like, I'm telling you, like, even though I've played like 20 something years of Magic, like, I've never considered myself a prodigy at the game, and I'm definitely no, PVR or Pete, I forget his initials. I'm no LSV. I mean, like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna. I've for one thing, I've spent way too much of my life also doing other things as well. I'm sure they have as well, but you know what I mean. I mean, it could be a cope. They just might be more naturally talented than me. I don't know. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm not going to try to pass myself as something I'm not. I'm not one of those guys. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, the way I was chewing up, I just chewed up all those Death Shadow decks, all those, Golgari, not Golgari, sorry, Rakdos mid-range, all those Boros mid-range. Well, okay, all those Boros mid-range that didn't play Showdown at the Skulls. To be fair, the Showdown at the Skulls decks, those could be a little tricky, but I think the Showdown of the Scalds Boros decks were the only mid-range deck. Like during that time, they were the only ones that actually could out grind me. And sometimes I still won with an unusually juky Blood Moon, for example, which very very rarely happened. But anyway, my point, it wasn't as bad as Rhinos for what it's worth. I did beat the even though I think I was slightly or somewhat disfavored against specifically the Showdown of the Skulls sort of brought back-ish. I don't know if they started playing brought back yet at that time, but there was very specific variation. It's just kind of what's not here or there. Um, yeah, but basically I just chewed up and spit out almost every single one of those opposing mid-range decks that were playing Luris back during that era. It just didn't. Yeah, and Showdown of the Skulls actually conflicted with Luris, so there was a very unique version of Boros midrange that eschewed playing Luris back when it was legal to play Showdown of the Skulls. Very few people played it. It was actually a very rare matchup because most people played Luris, but it just so happened that Obosh Red kind of just ate almost all of the Luris decks for breakfast, like literally. I mean, the fact that I was a trophy leader, I think should have been objective proof. Obosh Red was tier one at that time. I'm not going to say it was the best deck. It did beat the best decks. I think I had pretty much good matchups across the board against all the best decks. So I don't know. Maybe I was the best deck. I don't know. I don't know. But like, it boggled the mind back then that more people weren't playing Obosh Red because like literally only obscure combo decks were beating me back then, like a Nauseam or whatever. Um, Belcher was a problem. Belcher was saw more play back then. Belcher was a problem, but that was way less common than all those Luris decks for obvious reasons. Anyway, whatever. Let's get to the Ghost League. All right, post league wrap up, and I think this one's going to be pretty quick. I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's too much to say. Um, yeah, I think let's just get the Patreon shout out real quick so I don't forget. Thanks Adrian King, Gavin Downward, Daryl, B Train 4, Savage Ooze, Jules Varro, Kevin Roback, Roland Schoeneman, S. Robertson, HJCLIU, Sophus Garrett, Erwin Lopez, Stanley Franks, Jeff H, Brian H, Z. Cole Smith, Andrew Watt, and Michael Patton. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't think there's anything I would change. This is still the deck I'm rocking at the moment. Stone of Erech, been very impressed. Not having to mess with Delirium from Unholy Heat, while also getting to wipe their entire grave and draw a card. This is still kind of in testing phase, but I see no immediate reason to think that Obliterating Bolt is automatically the worst call between this and Flame Slash. It's a little bit of a new thing to reach for this instead of Flame Slash, but I still like it. Haven't necessarily sniped a lot of Ren and 6s, but the Exile effect plus, again, like I've said before, the Exile effect plus the hitting Planeswalkers is pretty nice. And of course the Strip Mines, like I've said during the match, it's this gimmick that I think is pretty free, and I like it, and yeah, And there we go. There we go. We got the trophy. This one should be T actually, because bam, trophy with this one. And next time I'm gonna show how to budgetize it. See you then.